Let's talk about the indie releases coming our way March 2025. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is the indie releases coming out this month of 2025. I do apologize, this one is late this month, but I was unfortunately unwell for a bit, so it would have been hard to film and also hard to listen to for the 20 to 30 minutes that these tend to go to. So the good news is that you can go ahead and purchase a lot of these right now should you want to. As always, these lists do not come from me, they come from Rob J. Hayes and AJ Calvin over on their respective blogs, which I'll have linked down below. This is just a video format to put them into. If you are someone who has a book releasing in 2025, I highly recommend you go and check out these lists because you can go ahead, put your book on there, get it in front of some new eyes, and I can give it a video platform each and every month. We have a few to go through and some exciting releases for myself and some beautiful, beautiful covers, so let's just jump into the list that we have here. On March the 1st, we had Thaumaturgic, can't pronounce that, Tapas, got that one, Succulent Food and Magical Guests by Tao Wong. This is Hidden Dishes number 3. This is part of the serious novella series that I really enjoyed. I've read The Nameless Restaurant. I had the second one to read, and I'll be getting this one at some point too, because I really love food and things to do with food and community and bringing people together, and that this is cozy fantasy for me. Like, if I'm going to pick up cozy fantasy, this is what I'm going to be picking up. But it is a book 3, even though it's a novella, and I think they're all sort of separated and have little tidbits and Easter eggs from Tao Wong's other worlds, but I don't want to go too far into it just in case there is spoilers there. On the 2nd of March, we have Shadows and Sorcery by Sean Hill. This is a collection of flash fiction, and I believe new stories are being added to it over on March 2nd, so you can go ahead and check that out should you wish to. On the 3rd of March, we have Skadi's Saga, book number 2. Probably butchered that pronunciation, so sorry. This is by Phil Tucker, and this is epic fantasy / progression and cultivation. This is something that Phil Tucker does really well, in my opinion. I've only read the Immortal Great Souls, books 1 to 3, which is all that's out at the moment, but I am definitely invested in reading more from Phil Tucker, particularly in this subgenre of fantasy. So I love the cover. That's really cool. And I'm looking forward to picking up the series eventually. On the 4th of March, we have a few releases, starting with Blade Broken. This is the Echelon, book number 1 by Niranjan K. No stranger to these lists. I feel like Niranjan K is on here nearly every other month. Says, a spy lurking in the shadows, a nation on the verge of an invasion, a man desperate to protect his home. Lucian is the Blade of Castriel, the kingdom's spy master and first line of defense, lauded for his success in repelling an invasion from Garandia. But the war has left Castriel's economy in shambles, and when the neighboring kingdoms of Cyran musters their armies and sends spies into Castriel, Lucian realizes two things. They have a spy in their midst, and they can't afford the cost of fighting off another invasion. And if that wasn't trouble enough, there is Alaric, the shield of Castriel, and the only man in the Echelon whose power is equal to Lucian's. Returned from banishment like the vengeful spirit of their long-lost relationship, Alaric carries a deep-set grudge against Lucian, a grudge that may well be justified. Lucian's desire to protect his nation is nearly equal to his wish to reconcile with Alaric, but if he cannot get his act together and convince the shield to work with him, Castriel will fall. We also have Starbreaker, book number 1. This is by Luke Chimalenko, and is sci-fi progression and cultivation. If you've heard that name before, I believe Luke has done some books with Bryce O'Connor over with Wraithmark. So this one also looks really cool, branching out on its own. I love green. Like, I'm always biased towards a green cover. You'll see that with my cover pick as we go through this list. But this one says, born of a pyre 10,000 souls strong, when stars are right, his home will die. When stars are right, his home will die. Hollow of heart, black hunger unending, eater of light, vanquishing kings. Doom in hand, pour loose the sands of time, ender of hope, feller of storms. Twin maidens, bloodstains on sorrowful souls, fast claimed war's domain. Glad of war, glad of pain, beast eyes close for him, vault's gate open. Starbreaker, thrice named, Starbreaker await. Prophecy of Aeon origin, date unknown. Silversvile is a big fish in a small pond, the most powerful mage on his planet. But when the doors to the cosmos come crashing open and all untold wonders and terrors of the universe come pouring in, he is left with only two options: ascend or die. I love progression fantasy. Like, I'm in. Also, on the 4th of March, we have the Somnia by Aletha Lyons. I hope I pronounced that correctly. and this is the Seer of York book number 2. A beautiful cover, beautiful tree on this cover. I really like the contrast with the blues and the purples here, which you'll see up here. This is a continuation of the Seer of York series. This is book number 2. It is dark fantasy, urban fantasy, and supernatural. It is beautiful. I can't go too much into it. Also on March 4th, we have the Welcome to Cemetery by C.J. Daly. This is the Cemetery Collection, book number 1, and falls into the horror category with some supernatural and crime thriller elements in there. So, a strange town with a strange name. Cemetery, New York, is filled with crime and secrets. When a car accident one fateful night leads to a search for 2 missing bodies, detectives Abby Williams, an almost 30-year-old with something to prove, and Ed Reyes, maybe, a jagged senior officer with a career as long as his partner is old, set out to solve the latest mystery. Before long, a string of missing persons becomes a collection of bloodless bodies that has even the police pathologist stumped. As the bloodshed continues, it becomes clear that the gruesome killings plaguing the town of Cemetery may not be the handiwork of some shadowy figure, but of something even more sinister. As detectives Williams and Reyes start to question the world around them, can they learn to put their differences aside, or will the investigation of a lifetime end their lives? Intriguing. On March the 5th, we have Son of Thunder Goddess. This is the Lays of Athwin, book number 1 by Andrea Levesque. Even gods die. The city of Britannum is besieged. Sorlark, the demigod, leads an army of thousands to its walls, eager to pillage and kill. Covered from head to toe in tattooed runes, he bears the blessing of the gods themselves. No weapon can pierce his skin. One by one, Sorlark challenges the champions of Britannum, taunting and killing them at will. Heroes fall, morale weakens, and Sorlark's victory is imminent. Only one man can stand against him. Athwain, a lowly shepherd of Logren's countryside, longs for a life of heroic adventure. When Sorlark's warriors slaughter his village, he sets out on a quest for vengeance, assisted by an ancient, long-forgotten god known only as the Maker. Now Athwain must wield the power of this unknown deity to defeat his divinely protected enemy and thwart his bloody dreams of conquest. But there are enemies within Britannum, as well as without, and the gods, once angered, do not forgive. If Athwain falls, his dreams of justice dies with him, and all of Logren will fall to ruin. I probably butchered half of those words that are in this, but it sounds cool and I like the cover. Also on the 5th of March, we have Mists of Memories, the Sea of Souls Saga book number 2 by N.C. Scrimmager. This is epic fantasy Scrimgeour. I'm so sorry. And Grimdark. I just watched a vlog from Faye over at Books and Chocoholic, which has me so like FOMO for this series. I really need to read some of this author's work. I have the sci-fi series, and I love nautical fantasy, so I don't know. Maybe I just need to dive in and get over myself with all the stuff that I'm reading, but I'm definitely interested in this one. Also on the 5th of March, we have Tales of Yamato. This is by Odessa Silva, and this is a short story collection. It says, Inari's eyes darkened. You'd refuse a god twice. I could feel my hands trembling, my heart hammering in the forge of my chest. Yes, this is historical fantasy. It says Yamato, a land of lavish forests full of life and loss. The beautiful string of islands surrounded by expansive seas hide a harsh reality. Wrathful gods, dangerous yokai, and humans who could end your life with the slice of a sword. Follow the lives of those surviving in any way they can, while cherishing love found along the way. When the great sea god Susanoo is controlled more and more by the destructive part of his soul, he must do all he can to keep himself from harming humanity. A Tanuki father goes on a quest to prepare his young pup to blend into the dangerous human world and causes mischief and mayhem. Lightning brings both luck and tragedy to a young boy who desperately picks peaches to save his sick mother. Ow. 14 Tales will take you on a journey with humans, gods, and yokai, showing how each one isn't so different from the other, and that even in death there will always be those who honor your life. That sounds really sweet. That one about the peaches, that's going to hurt someone. Maybe me. We'll see. On March the 7th, we have Lady Drakeslayer, and also, yes, Slay Queen, the Divine Gods Queen Coda, book number 2 by Bill Adams. It looks like this. Sick cover. I really like the cover to the first book as well, and I would like to read the series before I perish at some point. Never forget the truth of who you are, this one says. On March 11th, we have That Time I Was Kidnapped by the Fae King. This is by Azure Rain. Excellent, excellent name. Rolls off the tongue. It gives me just like fantasy vibes. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I believe will go into the romantasy category. Bryn Carlyle exists within a fantasy of her own making. She consumes Fae romances faster than the coffee she makes and loves it. Her actual love life is pretty much dead. When her best friend Cassandra decides she needs to get out of the house and maybe talk to some non-fictional men, she ends up at the Ren Fair, a cosplay contest starring the Fae King of her favorite book. There she meets one in particular who promptly kidnaps her. When Ezra Rose, the man who kidnaps her, turns out to be an actual Fae King, Bryn has to survive in his world, while also trying not to fall in love with him, even though she absolutely wants to. Interesting. I like people love the fictional boyfriend. That's fun for people who like that sort of thing. We also have Storm Captain by E.L. Reeves the March 11th. This is a sword and sorcery tale, and it looks like this. There's a runaway slave, a woman with the power to summon storms, an assassin itching for adventure, and a mystery that could leave them all dead. Benjamin has been a slave his whole life, whipped for every mistake and misstep. Desperate to escape, he risks stowing away aboard a smuggler's ship in the hopes of finding freedom. Discovered and dragged onto deck in the fury of the storm, Benjamin fears for his newfound freedom. Instead, he witnesses a woman summoning lightning and tearing the very fabric of the world open. Benjamin suddenly finds himself on an unfamiliar world in the company of people with inexplicable powers. Before the captain can decide the fate of the unwelcome stowaway, disturbing rumors reach her from an isolated town deep in the forest. The captain takes her crew to investigate, offering Benjamin a chance to prove his worth to them. As danger closes in, Benjamin must fight to survive, carving out a place for himself amongst these extraordinary people. Also on the 14th of March, we have The Secrets We Save by Kel E. Fox, and this is a quite a pretty cover as well with the pinks, and I'm getting sort of steampunk vibes with the font here. This is Gaslamp Fantasy. Didn't read that before saying that, and romance. This is The Whisperer's book number 1. Expelled from university after an accident stripped her of magic, Ursa Torpalfab returns home gutted. The spectacular career she'd envisioned flying amongst the stars is over, unless her father, a powerful magician, can help get her magic back. When she goes to meet him, he's missing, and her family can't or won't tell her where he is. Disavowed spy Del Favia, hopefully, is hiding from his former agency, painting illusions to pay the bills. That's a cool career. But the charmed art that keeps food on his table is illegal, so when his latest piece is stolen, he scrambles to find it before the illicit painting can be traced back to him, revealing him and his illusion magic to the agents hunting him. Despite finding each other unbearably rude, live that life, Ursa and Del agree to work together when they learn that the missing man and stolen art might be connected. As they get closer to each other, and in truth, their inquiries become more dangerous. And the truth, their inquiries become more dangerous. If they don't find answers soon, Ursa won't have just lost her magic for good, but her father too. And with the secret he knows, Del will not be left alive. Interesting. Also on the 14th of March, we have Blood of Drakgar, Bound by Freedom by Nadine Lewis, and this is a close second. This is my second cover pick because the purples in this are gorgeous, and like the lighting on the font just works so well. The Dominion rules, the rebels bleed, the extremists burn, and the Drakgar are awakening. The galaxy is crumbling under the Dominion's rule. Guided by the sentient AI core, a machine worshipped as a god, the Dominion crushes all who defy it. The rebels fall for freedom, while the extremists will destroy anything to end the Dominion's reign at any cost. Rasaka wants no part in their war. As a former slave and pit fighter, freedom is all she has left to fight for, and she'll burn the stars to keep it. But when her mentor is captured, she's thrust into a mission with a smuggler whose secrets could ruin them both. When the mission shatters into chaos, Rasaka is forced to question how far she's willing to go to save the only person she trusts. The deeper Rasaka delves into the mission, the more she senses a connection to the force buried within her bloodline, a power both deadly and divine. Now hunted by the Dominion, stalked by extremists, and shadowed by rebels, Rasaka must choose: keep running from what she is, or embrace it and carve her own fate. On the 15th of March, we have The Source of Strife. This is by Alec Arch, and this is epic fantasy. I like this cover too, in a different way. It's quite interesting, but that center image is definitely drawing my eye there. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only stolen. Mages feed on catalysts like Dini to enhance their spells, and since she's the most formidable weapon alive, they will stop at nothing to control her. Even her parents, leaders of warring realms, wage a battle for her custody, imprisoning her to prevent the other from gaining the upper hand. No more. For the first time in her 14 years, Danae isn't alone. With the help of a ghost, a glum deserter, shackled to his past, she intends to flee this madness. But as they witness the horrors unleashed to retrieve her, one thing becomes clear: her parents will never abandon their claim. Death and destruction follow in Denise's, I'm not sure, wake, and she must decide if her freedom is worth the cost. Interesting. Also interesting is one of my anticipated releases, which I'm not sure if I put in anticipated releases, but like I've heard about it and now I just really want to read it, is To Those Willing to Drown by Mark Matthews, which comes out on March the 19th. And this is horror. This is occult horror specifically. When Jewel Jordan dies from cancer, his father's wish is to scatter the ashes inside their beloved Torch Lake. But after the grieving mother hears her daughter's voice coming from inside the urn, how can she let the ashes go? Especially after a mysterious pastor begs her to keep them and promises to reunite her with her daughter's spirit, who should she listen to? Even creatures from the lake whisper to her at night, pleading for the remains of her daughter. Who can she trust? Nobody knows the truth and the bargain she made that led to her daughter's death. Now she has to fight to save her child's soul, and Torch Lake holds the answers. But the lake is cold, the truth is deep, and you have to earn the right to hear such secrets, for the lake speaks most honestly to those willing to drown. I'm in. I need it yesterday. On March 21st, we have The Whisper that replaced God Part 2. This is Silent Almighty by Timothy Wolfe, and it looks like this. Another very cool cover. I enjoy this one a lot. This is dark fantasy. Now, it is a book too, so I don't want to go too far into it, but ruling as king doesn't suit a man like Mute. Interesting. I'm intrigued. I do have the Tales of Bullum by the author that I'll be reading hopefully this year, so I won't go too far into that one. On the 25th of March, we have the Queensblood Crown. This is by Alex Bree and is Darkling Souls book number 2. I really loved the cover for book 1. I don't know if I love this one as much, but I still love the art with the gold. It's just beautiful. And this is epic fantasy / romance. It says death was only the beginning. On the 25th of March, we have my cover pick for this month, and that is Cello's Gate or Cello's Gate, either one. The Sky Pirates of Imperia. I don't need to know anything else about this series, this cover, that series name in Sky Pirates. Yes. This cover, also yes. Excellent work with the font and the placement of the font of Cello's Gate or Cello's Gate. My brain keeps going cello down the bottom there. I'm just so intrigued. I want to know what's happening immediately. This is epic sci fantasy. Captain Grey and his crew of Sky Pirates have a reputation for doing the impossible, from breaking into high security military research facilities to conning the Eye City elite. There isn't a lock they can't pick, a safe they can't break, or a hidden treasure they can't find, until now. Returning from a harrowing heist involving a neon battery and a trash chute, Grey and his crew are approached by Dahlia, the immortal daughter of the infamous Ark Governor, and she has an offer. The job? Locate and steal the Stones of Indigo, 7 fabled rocks invested with godlike power. The search for the first stone is a bona fide treasure hunt, guided by an ancient map to a deadly, uncharted island that's protected by a mysterious guardian. The score? 1 million credits per crew member, per stone. The catch? Well, that's where things get a little complicated. The stones don't exist. They're a myth, a bedtime story told to little pirates to make them believe that power and wealth are attainable if you just work hard enough. And to make matters infinitely worse, Grey's never trusted immortals, and Dahlia's definitely hiding something bad. And if they don't figure out what it is, it might cost them their lives. 1 crew of Sky Pirates, 7 mythological stones, and a race to find them all. Absolutely, yes. I'm in. Also, on March 25th, we have Whispers of the Storm. This is Song of the Damned by Z.B. Steele, or Z.B. Steele, if you're in Australia. This says, Redlin of the Wolves, Vanguard, Legend, Assassin, Reaper. Listen to my story. I wasn't always the monster they see me as. Half of the songs they sing are stories of my grandeur. The other half are tales of my misdeeds. The sad truth is, they're all true. So listen to my tale and learn why it all happened. Learn the reason for the war, the reason for all the death. Listen to my tale and listen well. I won't be alive long enough to tell it again. Oh, I want to read this so bad. One of my favorite ways, and I know it's not everyone's favorite, but favorite ways to consume stories is we're being told the story after it's happened, after that event has happened and taken place, and we're listening to it. So I'm very much looking forward to picking that one up when I get to it. On March the 26th, we have Poison and Opium number one. This is by Dance. Sorry, this is Dance of Demons by Alyssa Lasung, and hopefully I pronounced that correctly. This is in the paranormal and supernatural sphere. The slave, soldier, spy. Dasuke's heart has always wandered far from home, hoping for a life beyond what he'd have as a northern nomad raised in slavery. One evening, when he learns that Gaihato's imperial military has arrived in search of recruits, he seizes his chance to flee Okara's plantations and start anew. However, becoming a foot soldier isn't the easy escape he expected, and soon he finds himself struggling for a place within the infantry in Gaihatian society. I hope I pronounced this somewhat correctly. Obito knows he should be grateful for the opportunity to serve as one of the Empire's elite intelligent operatives the Onmitsu. It's one of few he'll ever have in life, and the highest possible honor for a nobleman's youngest son. But with demons of anger and shame hunting him as he tries to pick up the pieces in the aftermath of a scandal, any pride to take in rank of the family name is entirely hollow. When an act of mercy is born from senseless murder, the already unlikely friendship between Daisuke and Obito takes an unexpected turn. Not only are they now partnered together as Onmitsu, but dark politics are on the rise, leading them towards an ancient, furious magic. I probably butchered half of the words in that one, so I do apologize. On March the 31st, we have a few releases to end off the month. We have The Devil's Tangle, a woven fate tale by C.E. Page, and this is romance, and it looks like this. I need to read me some C.E. Page. All of the covers for any C.E. Page book is just beautiful. A stolen rose, a mad prince, a sister's sacrifice, and a dark curse that binds them. Music is Dahlia's life. I've got a second one. I've got a Delia in my book. Born with the uncanny ability to play any instrument she picks up. Her songs seem to possess the power to transfix, soothe, and even heal their listeners. But in her world of unexpected proprietary and dutiful acceptance of her future, as well as the wife of Lord John Beaumont, such a gift has no place. Like the ruined castle at the center of the Wildwood, it reminds people of the old stories. Stories of enchanted beasts, changelings, and immortal bargains. Stories better forgotten. But on the night of the solstice, those ancient tales come crashing into reality, where Dahlia's younger sister, Helena, plucks a rose from the ruined castle's overgrown garden. For a century, Caspian Greythorn has been a loyal servant of the Master, the Fey Prince who guards the forgotten castle that was once a bridge between realms. But when a foolish mortal girl steals from the palace garden and her equally foolish sister begs to be punished for theft in her sister's place, that loyalty is stretched to breaking point. Who is the strange young woman with eyes like burnt honey and the exiled prince's gift of song? Is she the soul rumored to be able to break the master's curse, or is she a deadly distraction? What is the price for a single rose? For Dahlia and Caspian, it might cost them everything. That sounds sweet. Maybe. I don't read a lot of romance. On the 31st of March, we have one that a lot of people are like reading arcs for right now, just taken over their entire lives. It is coming to the general public at the end of the month. This is Of Empire and Dust, the Bound on the Broken Book number 4 by Ryan Carhill, and it looks like this. I really can't talk too much about this one because many people are reading it right now. And to finish off our list for March the 31st as well, we have The Wrecking Squad. This is by Nick Snape. This is The Wrecking Squad book number 1. It says one crew, one loyalty, and a single shot at redemption. Captain Rebecca Khan and her ragtag crew of the repair ship Sunstar finally have a chance to pay off their crushing debts when an auto mining vessel goes rogue. After preventing the high-value cargo from disappearing into the outer system, they uncover sabotage only a crew with their military experience would recognize. Instead of returning as heroes, they are blackmailed into taking on a new crew member and to hunt for a mysterious, uncertified spacecraft. Deep into the black, they desperately try to hide their murky past, while their loyalties are tested to their limits when they finally come across the marooned ship and its deadly cargo. This one sounds like a lot of fun. I think I enjoy the space opera military sci-fis where it's just like this ragtag crew going off like space pirates. Space pirates is what I enjoy when it comes to, I guess, just fun reading for fun space opera books. This sounds like it's exactly that. Those are the releases that we have coming out in March 2025. What are you picking up? As always, let me know in those comments down below. If you like the content, give one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao.